My wife, 35F, of 10 years left me, 36M, after I discovered I had a son from a previous relationship. Wants to move with our kids. I apologize if there are any formatting issues. I messed up and put my son's age in and didn't have a proper throwaway account, so had to repost several times. I am sorry for any mistakes. I have been unable to sleep and really struggling. I feel emotionally drained. My wife, Amy, 35F, left me, 36M, after I was contacted by an ex and discovered I had a son. I try to post his age, but my post gets removed, so I just want to clear up that he was born 3 years before I married my wife, and there was absolutely no overlap or cheating in my wife and I's relationship. This happened a month ago, and I requested a paternity test. Amy didn't say much while we waited for results, but agreed that if I was the father, I needed to be in my son's life in every way possible. 2 weeks ago, the results came back that I am the father, and immediately Amy said she wanted a divorce and began packing her and our children's belongings. I was confused and asked her why, but she just cried and said she loved me. Amy and I have been married for 10 years. Our marriage has been pretty damn close to perfect. No serious arguments, same goals. We've traveled the world together. We have a beautiful home, rewarding careers, and fantastic children together. I am so heartbroken that she's thrown everything away. I feel like my life has been destroyed. I have no clue what to do. I have begged and pleaded for therapy, and my wife refuses. She has started the divorce process. The next issue is custody of our children in terms of divorce. All four of our children are young, not even in school yet. She says if I agree to give her primary custody, she will let me have the house and will not want child support and will give me all of our savings so I can raise my son as his mother is struggling. She also agreed to pay for some home help for me. I am disabled and need help occasionally during flare-ups, which she usually provides. I told her I could afford it on my own, but she insists as she says she wants to help out since she won't be there. She will move across the country with our children, but said she will bring them for at least 2 weeks every 2 months, so I can have a relationship with them and will pay for me to fly out to see them whenever I want. I don't know what to do. I have no family to discuss this with because two of mine and Amy's children are adopted. And my parents and extended family think my biological son is more important than them, which is obviously untrue. It makes me feel horrible, but I don't even know my son. It feels like I'm losing everything for a person I don't know. And I know he's a child, and I shouldn't feel that way. But all I ever wanted was my wife and kids. And while I will love my son and take care of him, I don't feel like he is my kid, yet just because I haven't really had time to get to know him. A month ago, I wouldn't have recognized him if I saw him on the street. I feel so much guilt for feeling this way. Amy and I both are fairly well off, but she is more so than me. She offered to hire me a lawyer of my choosing if I don't agree with her terms. I told her again I could afford it, but she says she just wants to make sure I get a fair deal. But I just can't. I don't want to divorce or lose my children. I love my wife and children more than anything. I just don't understand her motives or why she is doing this. It feels like I have to pick my son or my wife and our shared kids. I keep trying to make sense of it in my mind. She will not tell me any reason for wanting to get divorced. She is even being incredibly nice to my son. His birthday had recently passed, and she got him a new game system. They haven't met, she said say it was from myself and his siblings. She even told me what her nephew, same age as my son, is into so that I can get things my son might like. I don't even know what advice I'm looking for. It feels like my life has been completely ruined. I'm in therapy, but it doesn't seem to help. A month ago, my wife and I were planning on trying for another baby and picking our next vacation spot, and now I'm going to be divorced. How do I move on? How do I not unfairly resent my son when I know it's not his fault? I keep hoping there's a way to convince her to stay, but I don't even know what the problem really is. I'm hoping someone else has been through learning they have a child after 10 plus years and know where to start or what I can do to either move on or convince my wife that this doesn't have to happen. Any advice at all is appreciated though. TLDR, my wife is leaving me after I found out I have a child from a previous relationship. I risk losing custody of my children and don't even know why she wants a divorce. It has been over a year since my original post. Since then, my life has completely changed. Some days it is very hard, but all things considered, I am doing well. The biggest change is that my wife and I divorced. She moved with our shared children to the opposite coast to be near her family. We had an easy split, as we both agreed it was best for our family. I'm very thankful for that. However, it is difficult not to see all of my kids. The first month was the hardest, especially as we did not want a divorce, and we had a hard time not treating each other like spouses, which delayed us healing. My son is doing much better now that it's just the two of us. After our divorce, my son opened up about her in therapy. I now understand much more about his behavior. He is much happier now as an only child as well. He is really thriving with my attention. He is still struggling with his mental health, but his care team sees progress, as do I. My other kids have seemingly forgotten my existence, which hurts, but is also better than them being sad about the situation. I constantly try and call them, but at their age I get about 5 words in before they lose interest. My ex-wife and in-laws try and get them to stay on the phone and talk to me, but there is only so much connection you can have over the phone with kids their age. They seem happy, which is all I can ask for. I am at peace knowing that both my son and my younger kids have someone that loves them in their lives. I miss my family, but I feel I made the right choice for them and my son. After our divorce, I asked my ex-wife to lay it on the line. Why did she want to leave before even meeting my son? She had written me pretty consistent letters from the day we found out until the day we divorced. She gave them to me once our divorce was finished. I read over them several times. She gave several reasons for wanting to split. She felt she had chosen me to have a family with, and I had already had a family. If she had wanted strangers in her life, she would have married a man with kids the first time. She specifically chose someone without kids and felt she made a mistake as now other people would have some control over our lives and a stranger would be in our home. She loved our life, marriage, and knew it was all about to change because of my past decisions. She also said she knew that kids coming out of a situation like his were likely to have trauma. She underlined many times that while I was a good person, she knew I'd throw our family under the bus to make up for something I had no control over. I wrote to her to tell her she was right and that I was sorry things turned out how they did. Overall, I am happy. I don't regret my decisions. My son is thriving with me, and my other kids have a great mother and maternal family. I hope my son continues to improve, and I selfishly hope that as time passes and he gets older and more stable, I will be able to reconnect with my wife and be involved with my other kids. I appreciate everyone who reached out with advice. TL, my wife and I divorced, and her and our shared kids moved. My son is doing much better.